Welcome to the UnderMike show, our Wednesday night broadcast with Sam, XFL Money Man.
It's good to be undefeated.
I mean, it has to be a feeling like none other. I mean, we're undefeated, 4-0 with week 1 through 4 picks. XFL Sam, I'm 1-1. There hasn't been a whole lot of weather to come by, but at least we have you. So
yeah, I have there. You're holding steady. You're holding on to your 14 units. Not a lot of weather up, and not as many as options either as college or NFL. But that's your record, and like we said, and still undefeated. Those Battlehawks, Blackhawks, whatever the hell you want to call them. I mean, it was another no sweat game. It was
they
like
built that fucking stadium, right?
Yeah, that's a huge
blue there.
Huge home field advantage.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed every single second of it. I'm now up 11.95, only trailing UnderMike by 2.05 units. So that's exciting. And we're just moving along here. Like you said, overall up almost 26. XFL free money league, they just give it out. We're batting over 67%, which is ridiculous. So yeah, all is good. Of course, subscribe to us. If you're watching on YouTube, maybe you already do, but there's a good chance you don't. Hit the subscribe, please. Go to Facebook, hit the follow the UnderMike show, and then I'll put down, we'll have the scroll on top of it here.
Love the scroll.
Yep. Follow UnderMike626 on Twitter. That's key as well. Get those picks when they come out. And, so let's get into it. I know this week it seems like might be some of what was going on last week. What's going on weather-wise?
Weather-wise, yeah, we don't have a whole lot this week, unfortunately. 2 of our home teams this week are the only 2 dome teams. St. Louis is home again, and we got the Brahmas home at the Alamo Dome, so we don't got any weather to worry about there. We have Seattle on a Thursday night game. Again, we're missing out on the storms out west again. It's going to be calm weather, maybe in the low 40s, not much wind. And then Vegas has a home game as well, and that's Saturday. 60s, not a whole lot of wind. Let's go to Vegas.
Yeah, it'd be nice. When I was there, it was very cold.
Yes, it's a little bit better than when you were out there. So, yeah, so we got nothing on the underside. Obviously, we're not going to force anything. There's nothing to force. So we're just going to let you do your thing and what you got.
All right. Let's get it on up there. So this was released earlier in the week on the Twitter. When we released it, it was Arlington plus 2.5. It's now gone to 3. Tell me on DraftKings. It was 2.5 at MGM, I believe, when we tweeted out. And I'll be honest with you guys, I played it at 2. I thought it was good enough to play at 2. I was worried it was going to go the other way, and I really don't see why it's going this way, to be honest. San Antonio's offense is anemic. Jack Cohn at quarterback throws the ball somewhere between 1 to 4 yards on every pass. They're not explosive at all. I like Arlington's coming off of – I just bet against them. They're coming off that very tough environment in St. Louis. Yeah. And now they're going in a dome again, but a little bit easier in San Antonio. Not much travel from Arlington. And Kyle Sloter, who they've gone to at quarterback, he did have 3 picks last week, but I think you're going to see a much better performance from him this week. And I actually, I like the plus 2. I like the plus 2.5. I like the plus 3. Obviously I think they've got a great shot to win the game, but I like the 2, 2.5, and 3 because if it goes to overtime, the most likely result is a 2-point game because they do 2-point conversion. So lock it in. That's the selection on the XFL side.
That's a good play, and again, we released that very early. We've seen some of the lines, some of the books opened up at plus 1.5 here. Again, you said you got it at 2. It
Yep.
was 2.5 then when we released it on most books. That was the best line that we gave out. We told you which books were 2.5, which ones to go to bet it at. And now it's up to 3 actually on DraftKings. So if you didn't bet it then, you can get it at 3. Get it at 3.
Take it now.
So I like it. Next, I wanted to just talk briefly the UnderMike show special giveaway that we mentioned. Just a little update on that. What do you have? What do you show there, Sam?
Well, I'm thinking it's going great. I know you're creeping up right at almost 50 followers on Twitter, and Facebook's growing in leaps and bounds. We put up a lot of stuff on there in terms of we're gonna mostly have our like short videos, our reels that we break off from this on Facebook, just because I think it seems to work better on there and more folks are viewing it. We're having hundreds and viewing, and so we're up to 42 followers on Facebook. So like we said, we're working towards that 100 Facebook followers or 50 YouTube subscribers. I didn't look at the YouTube subscribers, and it seems like YouTube subscribers is such like a tough thing to get.
And I got one tonight, so I think we're up.
I think we're at 14. We're at 14 YouTube subscribers, which hey, I mean, not too long ago it was 7, I think, or something like that. So, we just want to get our content out there. So, and I think this is working. So I'm excited. And like I said, when we get that, we'll draw a winner for some cash. So we got that to look forward to. I wanted to also go over, obviously we always talk picks on here, and let's go over my DFS picks, because last week, I'll tell you what, it was just the week. So let's first recap my lock of the week. I'm going to put up a little handy thing right here. He smashed Brian Hill, 6,600. He scored 21.5 points. He was 36.26 owned, but it's not terrible. And that's it. Again, I'm using the big contest, not big as in dollars, big as in amount of entries. $15 contest. He was the number 1 running back in the XFL last week. So he was a key spot for somebody taking it down. 6,600, 21.5 points. So that's huge. And then I'm just as proud of this pick I'm going to put up here, which was my pivot. Cedric Bird. Talked about him last week. He had 7 catches, so a ton of looks for 37 yards. Couldn't get in the end zone, but 10.7 points. And he was only 1.21% earned. That's where really we're trying to get that low ownership in the pivot. So, I mean, that was huge. If he goes off and grabs a touchdown in one of those 7 and scores 16.7, I mean, he has to be then in the winning lineup. So, Brian Hill was a winner in the $15 lineup. The guy that won the $25,000 had Hill in the lineup. And I know last week I said I wanted exposure to Houston. The guy that won it went Houston quarterback with 2 Houston wide receivers. He went with some of the more expensive ones that hit. But I think we're on the right path, so I was happy with both those selections. This week, my XFL DFS lock is, I think it's Cinque. I'm going to go with Cinque Sweeting.
Okay.
Sweet Cinque, 5,300 wide receiver for Vegas versus Orlando. And I know both these teams are looking for a win. I wanted to get some type of exposure to Vegas versus an Orlando team that's not defended great. And this guy's really coming on. So I was looking at some of his numbers, and when I try to project out, and I had here a note, and he has had the following receptions: 3, 2, 2, 3 over the first 4 weeks. So pretty steady. So every week he's getting looks. He popped for 2 touchdowns last week. So, and here's what I really like this play. Vegas switched their quarterback last week to Luis Perez, and he got 2 touchdowns. So there might be some synergy between him and Perez, and we could see those receptions go up, and maybe he still pops a touchdown. So really like that pick. I think it's a really, really good one. And then
Orlando's the best. I mean, it's
Orlando, awful. We've cashed on this. So that's what we like. And then my pivot, I'm going back to the well. I can't believe this. We're going right back to Bird. The Bird
Okay.
man. Bird is the word. Houston going against Seattle, so there should be some points scored there. He only went up $300. How $4,400 for a guy that got 7 receptions, not target, 7 receptions, and people were concerned that his usage would go down because Harris was back last week. Well, Harris had a good game. Harris got the touchdowns, but we still got 7 receptions, 37 yards, and a pass-first offense, and $4,400. He was only 1% last week. I'm hoping he's probably going to creep up because people see 7 receptions. But even he goes up to 5, 6, 7, 10%, and he has a game, for 15, 20 points at 4,400, he'll be a key. So that's my XFL DFS pivot pick. So those are our picks. Hopefully, I guess. So next week, I didn't look at the schedule. I know Arlington plays San Antonio this week at San Antonio, and then next week in Arlington. So,
really?
Yeah, I was looking at the schedule in advance a little bit. So I'm hoping we get a little bit of weather for you, something that you can sniff out there that looks decent. Funny, I was just doing some XFL general reading and stuff, and it looks like the TV partners keep they're switching around what games are on what channels, which are on the big channels. And it looks like they're trying to make sure Vegas isn't on when it's at Vegas isn't on TV because of how you said how the field is so open and how rinky dink it kind of is that it looks bad for the league.
It's a very small field. I mean, I noticed it was a baseball field, I think. I forget who played on it, but it was very, very small. I mean, I forget how many it holds, but not near if you saw pictures of the St. Louis game last week. It's going to be nothing like that. So that's why I was trying to get some weather, hoping to get some weather in some of the smaller stadiums because it can really affect that. And that's what I go for in the college games. That's where I make the money in the college is looking at the smaller schools, at the smaller fields that are a little bit more open where the wind really affects more things. So, yeah, that's interesting that you brought that up.
I was that makes sense.
And I noticed the game time, the times of the games are a little odd. It's, I mean, you get a Thursday game and then even the Sunday night game, 10 o'clock Sunday night.
Yeah, that's smart, I think, because they're trying not to go up against the NCAA tournament.
True. Yeah. Okay.
So Sunday night, they figure, might be the time, but it's a tough weekend for the XFL because the NCAA tournament really takes over. I know, I'm going to give out a play while we're talking here. Not an official pick or anything, but obviously I follow college basketball. This isn't a college basketball show, but I like
the win all.
Yes. We are Louisiana against Tennessee, getting anywhere between 11 and 12, depending where you're at. That's my play for the first 2 days. Louisiana getting the points, winning all. It's so wide open. I'm not even going to put out a pick there. I'll just be rooting my ass off for Penn State as hard as I can. So
it is. I mean, as for me, I'm not a huge college basketball fan anymore. I mean, I will watch the tournament games. I'll watch, of course, the beginning games, and then I'll watch some at the end, semifinals, the championship. I don't know a whole lot about it. So seeing it this year, there's a lot of teams in there that are a little bit different than what you're accustomed to seeing in the top part of the. So it was hard even just for me picking the free brackets that the different sites put out, and it's man, it's odd seeing in Alabama, Houston, way up there.
Yeah. You'd watch, though, if they played outdoors and there was weather involved.
I would, yes. It doesn't mean anything to me here, but I will release my final 2 just with my little knowledge that please don't bet on it. I'm just for you, for me, just I am going to say Alabama versus UCLA.
Okay. I like both
That
those
is
teams.
That is who I picked in my free bracket in the DraftKings pool.
Okay.
Let's win.
All right. Alabama and UCLA. So,
Buckla.
no. Is there anything else that you got? I have nothing else. I'm just ready. I want to, now that I'm thinking about it, 10-0 XFL for me is possible.
I think you can do it. So, I mean, we're almost halfway there. This is week 5. It's going to happen, I think. I'm feeling it.
All right, let's keep it going.
All right. See you next week.
Later.